A column of Russian military vehicles was turned into scrap near Kupiansk by units of the 77th Airmobile Brigade, highlighting once again how this sector has become one of the most dangerous zones for Russian armor. In the footage from the area, we can see a range of vehicles, from infantry fighting vehicles to supply trucks and even heavier armored platforms, all reduced to twisted metal. Most of them were destroyed by precision drone strikes, a tactic that has become routine for Ukrainian forces and devastating for Russian units attempting to advance or rotate their troops. The Kupiansk direction has turned into a graveyard for armored vehicles. Every Russian attack by Ukrainian reconnaissance drones. The result is immediate detection and rapid destruction. FPV operators from the 77th Airmobile Brigade work in coordinated teams, directing swarms of drones at each target until the entire column is neutralized. Even vehicles trying to retreat are hunted down one by one. Russian forces are suffering huge and constant losses in this type of warfare. Traditional armored doctrine, massed movement, reliance on armor protection and speed, provides little safety when drones hit with centimeter accuracy. Crews abandon vehicles, supply convoys scatter, and commanders lose the ability to reorganize under continuous aerial surveillance. The psychological effect is equally heavy. Soldiers know that any attempt to move in daylight, or even at night, risks instant destruction. The battle near Kupiansk is another example of how Ukraine's drone dominance is reshaping the front. Instead of slow artillery duels, this sector now sees rapid, precise, relentless strikes that strip Russia of manpower, armor, and momentum, leaving their advancing forces stalled and increasingly demoralized. Russian officials say they have repelled yet another enemy drone attack on the Veshkaima electrical substation in Ulyanovsk Oblast, a critical node in the region's energy grid. Governor Alexei Ruskik confirmed the incident, stating, "An enemy drone attack on the substation in the Veshkaimsky district has been repelled. No casualties have been recorded. Emergency services are working at the scene where the debris fell." He also noted that electricity supplies to the surrounding settlements remain unaffected. However, conflicting reports suggest the damage could be more serious. The Telegram channel Astra claimed a fire broke out at the substation following the strike, a claim later backed by satellite data from NASA's FIRMS service. The Veshkaima 500 kilovolt substation is no ordinary facility. It is a strategic link in the Volga region's energy ring, connecting power systems across Ulyanovsk Oblast, Mordovia, Chuvashia, and Samara Oblast. According to Astra, significant volumes of electricity flow through the substation, including power generated at the Syzran and Zhiguli hydroelectric power stations, which help supply large swaths of central Russia. This marks at least the second attack on Veshkaima in a short period. On October 18th, drones reportedly struck the same substation, raising serious concerns about the resilience of Russia's energy infrastructure and the escalating risk of disruption. On the night of November 18th, drones attacked the Zuivska thermal power plant in the temporarily occupied town of Zugris in the Donetsk region. A fire broke out there. In the footage recorded by eyewitnesses, the buzzing of UAVs can be heard, as well as the operation of the air defenses of the Russian invaders and a powerful explosion. After that, a fire was recorded on the facility's territory. Later, it was reported that the strike drones likely damaged the transformer of the second boiler, which was subsequently taken out of service. Local social media pages reported that after the explosions, power problems were recorded in occupied Donetsk and Makiivka, and in Ilovaisk, the electricity supply went out completely. Later, the occupation administration confirmed the strike, claiming that in addition to the Zuivska plant, the Starobeshev TPP was also allegedly attacked that night. The invaders stated that the drone strikes caused power outages in many settlements in the temporarily occupied territory of the Donetsk region. The Zuivska thermal power plant, located 40 kilometers east of Donetsk, has been under Russian control since 2014 and supplies electricity to the temporarily occupied territory. Its capacity is approximately 1.2 to 1.3 gigawatts, 4 power units, each about 300 megawatts. A Russian occupier's failed attempt to shoot down a Ukrainian FP-5 drone with PKM machine gun fire. Mavics are unnecessary. Czech instructors admit that Ukrainian drones make training too realistic. Ukrainian soldiers undergoing training in Poland and the Czech Republic are increasingly facing a gap between NATO training programs and the realities of drone warfare in Ukraine, BBC News Ukraine reported. Some of the courses are still based on textbooks from Iraq and Afghanistan, where there were no drones, and the standards of tactics and medicine are designed for the golden hour, or wounded transportation time in NATO doctrine, which simply does not exist on the front line with drones. Ukrainian Marines who have been through Krinky are surprised by scenarios where an APC crosses a river. They tell instructors directly that any equipment will be destroyed by drones before it even approaches the shore. During one of the exercises, Czech paratroopers had to attack Ukrainian positions where Mavic drones were operating. After the first attempt, instructor Jakub stopped the scenario and asked, "Can we take out the Mavics? You are finding us too fast." The Ukrainians responded harshly. If the drones are removed from the training ground, it will no longer be a modern war, but a reconstruction of the 2010 soldiers from the Pokrovsk and Kharkiv sectors explain that today any movement under the sky where 40 to 50 drones are hovering is fatal. The tactic of driving an IFV into a trench no longer works. Some courses seem archaic. For example, the instructors demonstrated navigation using paper maps, while at the front, everyone has long been working with tablets and digital maps. Drones have also dramatically changed medicine. Evacuation in 60 minutes is unrealistic. Ukrainian officers explained to Europeans that a wounded person can lie there for a day and that they need to be able to manage the tourniquet for hours. Often, Ukrainian instructors actually change the course of the exercises themselves. They show Czechs and Poles how to conduct assault operations under the threat of drones, how to use Kikimora camouflage suits, anti-thermal cloaks, and FPV cover. However, some centers are already adapting. In Poland, the first drone training ground Jomsborg was created, where Ukrainians help design courses and Norwegians integrate Ukraine's experience into NATO programs. Training abroad remains critically important, but it is the Ukrainian combat experience that becomes the basis without which it is impossible to prepare the army for the war of 2024 to 2025, experts emphasize. As a reminder, it has recently become known that Montenegro will also join the NATO mission to train Ukrainian soldiers. And Putin's lapdog in Europe, and Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán claims Ukraine has no chance of winning the war and calls continued EU support just crazy. In a podcast interview, he accused EU leaders of prolonging the conflict for leverage, urged immediate talks with Russia, and downplayed any threat of a Russian attack on NATO.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.